Vinay Shroff, Executive Vice President of JSW Steel. Good to see you at the Steel Survival Strategies Conference here in New York.
Thank you.
We're going to focus with you on the steel market in India. We know that India has had a huge growth story for quite some time, an economy that's outperformed many developed countries, including, of course, the US. Demand first. What are you seeing in terms of demand? Is it continuing?
Yes. The government of India has taken a lot of initiatives, and their push in the infrastructure segment with capital investment outlay of about $60 billion, that is something which is really going to drive the demand. We anticipate the demand to be more than roughly about 5% in the coming year, which translates into about 5 million tons of domestic steel. So that is something which we definitely see the demand going up. Along with the government's push in the infrastructure, their national steel policy and Make in India initiative, on top of it, the Make in India steel policy, wherein you have to use the steel made and melted in India. I think all this put together, we are in for hopefully good times ahead as far as the demand is concerned.
So in terms of meeting that demand, have you had to increase capacity within the manufacturing operations?
Yes. So India's capacity is still underutilized, if I can say, but a lot of the capacity is in the unorganized, fragmented sector. If you look at the integrated steel players like JSW Steel, we are running at a capacity of nearly 94-95%, and that gives us a huge opportunity to increase our capacity in the coming years, knowing fully well the demand is going to go up.
So by increasing capacity, does that include building new plants or adding to existing?
Yeah. We're currently focusing on adding to the existing. So we are currently 18 million tons in JSW Steel, and there is a potential to take it up to about 28 to 30 million tons from the two existing facilities, which is what exactly we are doing and looking at.
There's a lot of focus at this conference on smart plants and digital technology. How far in the game are you in terms of state-of-the-art equipment, whether it's sensors or robotics or any sort of automation?
Very good question. In general, India is much behind in the digitalization curve. And we as a company have taken the initiative in the last 6 months to 1 year and embarked upon this whole digitalization process, which we see in the next 12 to 18 months becoming a core to efficient production and the entire operations. So digitalization will be a key to our efficient running of the operations. Yes, absolutely.
When you look at the steel industry broadly, certainly it seems that, you know, the issues we have in the US with some of our producers, and there's always trade concerns when we talk about steel. It seems that in many ways you're isolated from some of these other problems given the government support in India and just the growth and demand you're seeing.
Absolutely. 2015 was a bad year for the entire steel industry globally, and the government of India took the necessary steps, and I think in 2016, February onwards, the steel industry has seen a recovery, if I can say. The demand last year in 2016 was not what we had expected. It should have been higher, but keeping in view that the thrust in the expenditure which the government is going to has promised, we see a good demand picking up. We are not isolated, but simultaneously we are not that bad what we were in 2015, and efficient operations are still making money in India.
So what, considering that there's a lot of things that are going in your favor, what is the one issue that you really worry about?
So as far as the company is concerned, we do not have our own iron ore or coking coal. We have to source the entire thing, whether it is domestically or from overseas. So that is one of the concerns we keep having, and we are very, very open to the fluctuations which keep happening in the iron ore prices, for example. So that is one major concern we have. The other one is there is domestic iron ore is produced by a government-run company, and they are more worried about their own profits rather than supporting the steel industry. So I think these two factors put together is one of the big concerns as a company we see going forward. Yeah.
Vinay Shroff of JSW, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. The pleasure is all mine.